Today I'm going to talk about treatment teams and support networks whilst you're recovering from a restrictive eating disorder. I haven't actually written any notes for this video, so hopefully I don't mess it up. The first and foremost, most important that you're probably going to address is your family. Now, obviously, if you're older and you're an adult, then you don't actually have to tell your family about it, because you can go to the doctors without them and get treatment without them, and you don't have to disclose any information to them. However, family is probably one of the most supportive people that you're going to have, especially if you are younger. So I would advise telling your parents. I found that the best form of communication is writing letters, because that gives the person time to read over and think about what you've written, rather than jumping in with an automatic response, maybe something that's defensive or confrontational, and it's not helpful. I think writing letters or even emails is easier sometimes than a face-to-face confrontation, because it does allow that time to mull over what has been said and to kind of write a thought-out response. If your family don't approve of the way that you're recovering, which would be using the mini-mod guidelines, hopefully, then you can print off information from your Utopia to give to them, or you have to ask them to respect your way of recovery, whether they agree with it or not. Now, hopefully they will read the information and they will understand the information and they will support you, because it is important. But we can't all have supportive families, and we can't have families that support this method. We can't all have those types of families. So so if they don't actually support the mini-mod guidelines, then you just tell them that they have to refrain from commenting at all, because it's your recovery, it's your life, it's your body, and it's your health. So that conversation will need to take place. If they're not going to support you, then they need to at least leave you be. Partners, obviously, especially if you're living together, they're going to be absolutely invaluable support. If your partner doesn't support the way in which you're recovering, then of course you can do the same with what you would do with the family, and tell them to refrain from commenting. However, I don't think I could have coped if my partner didn't support the way I was recovering. I probably would have gotten rid of him. I just think that if someone has watched you suffer so much, then any kind of recovery should be better. It should be fully supported. They will have seen the agony and anguish that you have gone through with an eating disorder, and they should support any method with which you choose to regain your health. Friends, obviously, you'll probably find most of them very supportive too. You obviously want to act the same as with friends or family. If they're not going to support you, let them know that they cannot comment. With professional treatments, you're going to go to the doctors first and foremost. Your first experience with a doctor may not be positive. Please do not let that put you off, because you need to get a doctor to help you through this process. And doctors are not exempt from being influenced by diet culture and our society with its fat phobia. A lot of doctors don't like the mini-mod guidelines, and they will try and put restrictions on you. Same goes for dietitians and therapists. Do not put up with having a therapist that will not support your method of recovery, because they can be your best allies in recovery, or they can be your biggest triggers. And if they are triggering you, then you need to get rid of them and find a therapist, doctor, or dietitian that suits you and the way that you are recovering. Do not suit your recovery to to them, because it's your recovery, not theirs. And it's very important that you recover properly. Dietitians and doctors, as I said, and therapists as well, they might try to put restrictions on you. What weight you can gain to before it's okay to stop, or a restriction on your calorie amount, which is still just pandering to eating disorder behaviour. Those are still rules and routines that are to do with food and weight, and that will keep you trapped in the eating disorder mindset. You need to not have any rules and no routines and no regulations, and you need to be completely free of it. And if you've got a professional that is helping you by keeping you in a set of rules, then you're not actually going to recover fully. You are always going to be trapped within some kind of restrictions, and that is not proper remission. So basically, if you're looking for professionals, make sure you ask them questions at the beginning, and run through your way of recovering with them, and see if they are happy with that. And if they're not, scrap them and go for a new person. Also, doctors and dietitians and therapists, some of them can all say very triggering comments. You need to let them know that it is not okay if you are ever triggered by anything that they say. If they continue to make triggering comments, again, scrap them and find somebody else that's going to support you and encourage you and not make you feel worse about yourself. It is very important, because treatment teams can be completely invaluable support. And some people cannot recover without treatment teams. Some people can. I would have preferred to have a professional treatment team, but it wasn't available for me, and I was put on a huge waiting list, and I've only just now, after 17 months of recovery, I've just now kind of started CBT therapy. So yeah, some people can recover without, but it's very, very, very hard, and these people can really, really help you. But if they're not helping you, do not feel ashamed or scared or anxious to get rid of them, because you need to. It is absolutely necessary for you to scrap them and find someone that suits you. Sometimes it's better to not have these people at all than to have someone that's going to trigger you. So basically, yes, be very, very careful when you are picking your treatment teams and support. If you don't get the support you need at first, please try again. Do not be put off. You will eventually find someone who suits your needs. So carry on. You're doing great. And just make sure to pick a positive team and support network.